Hello everybody! So today we have a kind of weird video because it's been something I've been talking about doing for ages but kind of haven't had the courage to make this video before, and now is the time. Many people have said, "You've got to do the video, Hannah. You've been saying it for months, you've been saying it for years, do the bloody video." So here it is. Here is the Patreon video. So the reason it's taken me so long to kind of sit down and actually film this video is because obviously Patreon is asking for money, essentially. There's no kind of way to get around that. If you look at it in just black and white, it's asking for money, which is something I have never done and something I never thought I would do. But I've got to a stage in my life now where now more than ever I could really do with some support. And so many of you lovely people have commented that you would support me in different ways. I just thought there's no harm in making this video, even if nothing comes of it and nobody fancies kind of pledging to my Patreon or there's no harm done, essentially. So why not? Why not make this video? So as many of you know, I have been desperately searching for a job in central London for the last few months and nothing has come of it yet. I know it will eventually, like you lovely people do keep commenting and people in my everyday life keep saying, "Hannah, it will come," like it took me 6 months to get a job, it took me a year, it took me 1 month, it took me this, it took me hundreds of job applications to even get an interview kind of thing. So I know it will come. I'm not saying I am reaching the end of my tether and I might go and jump off a building because no one will hire me. Yet. But because of my slightly useless degree, don't get me wrong, I loved my history degree, it was the best time of my life, studying and learning about something I'm so passionate about, but there aren't that many kind of fields you can go directly into. It's not like medicine where you're obviously going to end up either a doctor or a nurse or a surgeon or something in the medical field. So as a result, not many people will hire me with that degree. So I am not doing particularly well fund-wise. I spent all my savings while travelling around Europe, which you guys saw in some of my vlogs, and I had the time of my life, so I don't regret that. But as a result, I have decided to create a Patreon for anybody who would like to support me in any kind of way. Before I get into the whole Patreon side of things, I also set up a paypal.me account, which I had never heard of until my one Patreon subscriber, Jürgen, said, "By the way, do you know that lots of VAT and tax comes with Patreon?" I don't know whether it's just in Germany, because I know the taxes are quite high and VAT is quite high in Germany, but he was essentially telling me that it's so much more for him to give money on Patreon because of that tax. So to set up PayPal, there's no tax. So I have set a paypal.me account up as well. And that obviously, aside from having no tax or VAT, also means that there's no commitment. So if you don't fancy pledging monthly, or giving kind of an extended amount of money for a however many months period of time, you can just do it once if you ever fancy it. So my link to that will be in the description every single video from now on, and also you can see it in the channel art above my channel when you go onto Hannah Montgomery channel and you see the little Instagram link and a little Patreon link now, and now there's a little PayPal link as well. But if you do want to go and check it out for now, here is the link. So on to Patreon. I had no idea kind of how Patreon worked, so I went on to other people's Patreons, people who had kind of similar subscriber levels to me. I didn't want to kind of go on to someone who has millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands, so I looked around kind of the 2,000–3,000 mark and kind of went from there, because there are a couple of other people who are quite similar to me in my kind of video content who have set up Patreons and do quite well, so I'm kind of hoping for the same. And obviously you have the different levels of kind of monetary donations every month, and I decided to theme mine around something that is very close to my heart, which is acting, drama and the theatre. Haha. And who is more of a British cultural icon in the theatre world than Sir William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon? So I found 5 of my favourite Shakespearean characters and went from the bottom to the top of my favourite. So level 1, Juliet, obviously from the play Romeo and Juliet. So for $5 a month, which is really weird that it's in dollars. I know it's an American company, but as I spoke to my other little Patreon subscriber Jürgen about, he said, isn't it weird that he is donating in euros, I'm taking it in pounds, and yet it has to be converted through dollars? Like, it's weird. But anyway, so for $5 a month, that will give you access to Patreon only content, and also a massive great thank you. A huge great thank you, more than I could ever say. And this Patreon only content will be videos earlier than I will post them on YouTube. Some kind of little bonus videos that you won't see on YouTube potentially. Discussions, posts and stuff that you can only see if I post it on Patreon and you are a Patreon subscriber. Level 2, Tybalt, also from Romeo and Juliet. Probably the main male character I would want to play, but can't because I'm not a male. Same access to all that content that you can only get on Patreon, and also a handwritten postcard 4 times a year, so quarterly. Every 3 months I will send a postcard to wherever you are in the world to say thank you. And that comes at $10 per month. Level 3, Lady Macbeth. Oh my gosh, the part I most want to play in any Shakespeare play ever. I really want to be Lady Macbeth one day. Access to Patreon only content, the postcard 4 times a year, a shout out in the new monthly Patreon video. Woo, new video series, yay! I'm not exactly sure what those videos are going to entail yet, other than them being an advertisement kind of to new subscribers that I might receive, being like, yes, I have a Patreon, and also a massive thank you to all of my subscribers and Patreon donators, as it were. And also, I'm thinking if I get over 15 patrons, if I get over 15 patrons, you can tell I'm new to this, I will probably start doing a kind of loot crate giveaway, like my buddy Dominic on Get Germanised does. But I don't want it to just be, if I've only got like 3 patrons, then it's obviously just going to be like between 3 people over and over and over again. So as long as there's kind of a list, a kind of like a number of names I can go whoop and it's blah from Brazil or blah from Germany, then I can send off a little kind of box of maybe goodies or sweets or whatever kind of British things that people might like from the UK. And that'll probably happen kind of the same as the postcards, like 4 times a year, like every 3 months. So that would be level 3, Lady Macbeth, and that is for $20 a month. So level 4, Patreon only content, postcard 4 times a year, shout out in the new monthly Patreon video, access to the loot crate giveaway thing, and all messages sent via Patreon will be answered by me. So we can have a chat if that is what someone would like. And also at level 4, if somebody has a video idea and it's not too weird or creepy or porn-like, I will film that video for you. And that is for $50 a month. And that is a ridiculous amount of money. I'm really not expecting anybody to be level 4 or level 5, but if there is some millionaire out there who loves my content enough that they want to give me $50 a month and get all of that, I would be beyond grateful. So that's level 4, $50 a month, and that level is called Prospero, who is from The Tempest. He's like a magical wizard kind of man. It's a really cool part. So level 5, I'm really not expecting anybody to give $100 a month, which is a ridiculous amount, I know, but I thought I may as well just make some tiers of like prices, and if people want to donate, they can donate whatever they want at the end of the day. But that is the top end. So not only do you get access to Patreon only content, postcard 4 times a year, shout out in the new monthly Patreon video, access to the potential loot giveaway crate every 3 months, all messages responded to via Patreon, video ideas taken into extreme consideration and probably will do, but also there will be a private video filmed by me sent just to you and to say a massive thank you and essentially pledge my eternal gratefulness to whoever would be that kind to give me that amount of money a month. It's crazy. And not only that, for level 5, I would also follow this person on any social media they fancied. I know that's not like a massive kind of deal, but it'd be nice to kind of get to know somebody who would want to help me out that much, so I'd follow them on whatever social media they wanted, and probably vice versa. I assume they'd follow me already. And that level is Puck. Level 5, $100 a month, Puck, which is a part I have played in A Midsummer Night's Dream, who's like a little mischievous sprite, and he's so much fun. So much fun, that character. So that is everything. I feel so weird asking for this. Weird. If any of that does sound like of interest to you, or any particular level, or if you have any suggestions that it could change Patreon a little bit, or make it more manageable, or make it bigger, or whatever, please do let me know down in the comments below, because I read every single one, as probably most of you know, because I'm quite good at responding, I think. But if you do want to help me out, that would be amazing. I'm a very poor little Londoner, unfortunately living in one of the most expensive cities ever. Like, London is so expensive to live in. The food, the drink, just having a social life in London costs so much money. So if anybody would like to help me out with kind of that, it would go towards bills and boring things, but it would also mean I would have so much more time to dedicate towards YouTube instead of just searching soullessly for a job, which is what I'm doing right now. But of course there is absolutely no pressure. If you don't want to donate, if you think this whole idea is ridiculous, then I completely understand, and I will still be uploading videos, hopefully around once a week, but it might occasionally be once every 2 weeks. But I'm not going to become bad again and only upload maybe once a month, because it's not fair, because especially if people are now starting to kind of expect a service almost. They're paying for a service, so there is no way I'm going to let people down by not uploading. So please, if you can help me out, do. If not, no pressure, and I will still continue to be the most average YouTuber that there is. Thank you all so much for your continued support. It really does mean the absolute world to me. And I shall see you next week for a different video. And it won't be a Patreon one, because I've finally done it. Thank you, bye!